Hello, my name is Scribble, and this is the Week 4 Team Builder for the Soul Draft League. This week we are playing Revius, and you can see our team and his team in the top left corner. He's got a Great Tusk, a Terra Keldeo, Meowscarada, Pecharunt, Orthworm, Florges, Incineroar, Bellybolt, shout out to Olivia, Terra Espeon, and Goodra. And our team is the same, except we are missing one member in favor of another. We dropped Noivern for Talonflame after last week's battle. So if you haven't seen last week's battle, you can see why we dropped Noivern. It did not do so hot, so yeah, we had to make some cuts, and I think Talonflame is going to fit our draft better because it can pressure steel types more, and we really only had Annihilate for an offensive piece to do that. Tinglu is usually more defensive, and it's pretty slow, right? So Talonflame gives us another option to deal with steel types, and I think that is much appreciated for our draft. So, before we get into the team builder, I did edit the overlay a little bit, so now the damage calc has more space. So hopefully this is better, so it's a little more clear what's going on. But yeah, now let's just get into the actual team builder. So I am going to add in Deoxys and Annihilate. Basically, our two co-captains of our draft at this point, I think. I mean, they're the two best Pokemon, and I've been enjoying them so far. So I'm happy with their performances. All right, so as always, let's start with his type chart. So the red indicators are ground, flying, and fairy. We've played a lot of fairy week drafts this season, which is kind of funny. But yeah, that's the ground weakness is really big because Meowscarada does not really count as a ground resist because it's pretty frail and it's an offensive Pokemon. It's not going to switch in on a lot of attacks. And then the only other ground resist is Orthworm. And you can't really bring Orthworm every week. It's not that good. The plus side is that a Great Tusk is basically an Earthquake resist. So I guess it's not as bad as it looks on paper, just because of the Great Tusk's like insane physical bulk. The flying weakness, that's only Orthworm and Bellybolt. And as great as Bellybolt is, I mean, it's just not an amazing Pokemon objectively. I'm sorry, Olivia. But it does look pretty decent into us because Bellybolt does have a very good trait of just countering Zapdos. Zapdos really struggles to deal with Bellybolt. So we'd either need to get pretty creative with our Zapdos set, or we bench Zapdos for the third week in a row, which is kind of crazy. But the flying weakness otherwise looks pretty good for our Zapdos. And then the fairy weakness, Pecharunt, and again Orthworm. Orthworm is like holding this draft's type chart together. Pecharunt does not have high special defense. It's sort of like Galarian Wheezing from last week, where it was just like, it's like the only fairy resist that's like a real Pokemon, but maybe there's a way we can break through it. I mean, if we go with like Terra Poison or Terra Steel Comfy, we can actually break through Pecharunt like quite easily because it can't do anything to poison or steel types. And you know, that actually looks kind of ridiculous, like a Terra Poison Comfy. Because when you see Meowscarada, the first thing that should come to your mind is what poison types do I have? Because poison is like the one type Meowscarada can't really hit for super effective damage. And most poison types can do a decent job at checking Meowscarada. We do not have, well, we do have Tentacruel, but Tentacruel is part water, which means it doesn't resist grass. And that's like the main selling point for a poison to check Meowscarada. You need to resist Flower Trick, and Tentacruel has low physical defense anyway, so it's not going to get the job done. So that's why my mind is jumping to Terra Poison immediately, and it also doubles for dealing with Pecharunt. And so, yeah. Oh, yes. So why Comfy over Annihilate? Because I think Annihilate could also be Terra Poison here, or Terra Steel, I guess. But the main difference is Poison is going to leave us open to the Great Tusk, but Comfy it just has priority Draining Kiss for Great Tusk, and it's also just faster than Great Tusk. It might just be faster without even needing Triage. And priority Draining Kiss is also going to be great versus the Keldeo if it doesn't Terra. We will have to think about Terra types for the Keldeo. Probably needs a Terra type to deal with Tentacruel because it does not get any coverage to hit water and poison types naturally. That's why Keldeo fell off super hard as soon as Toxapex got introduced in OU. So some sort of Terra type on Keldeo that hits Annihilate, or not Annihilate, whoa, that hits Tentacruel for super effective damage I could see coming. Or Keldeo just goes like all out Terra Water, and then or maybe Espeon is the dedicated Terramon. I don't know. We'll think about that later. But I'm gonna slot in Comfy. I think this Terra Poison Poison Calm Mindset has a lot of potential. So we go like Calm Mind, Draining Kiss, Giga Drain, and what? Maybe Stored Power? I mean, that makes sense, right? Just to give us an option to hit the Pecharunt. The drawback of this set is the Incineroar kind of walls us. But I think we can weaken Incineroar, and we have other ways of dealing with that. And Stored Power will let us compete in a Calm Mind War if it like ever comes down to it. I don't know what item yet. It could be like, I mean, it could be Life Orb, just because we have priority, right? So we aren't super concerned about the recoil. But maybe not, because if we do go Life Orb, it does cut into our longevity, so maybe we do want leftovers. We're probably going to be physically defensive here, because we want to be able to sit on Orthworm, and we don't want Incineroar to just, like, annihilate us. And also, Terra Poison is going to make this our Meowscarada check, and so we're going to want some physical bulk for Meowscarada. So I'm gonna slot in like max physical defense for now, and then we can optimize this later. The item, if this switches in on like knockoff from Meowscarada, then Rocky Helmet would be best. But it could also just be leftovers. It could also be boots. What hazard setters does he have? It's only Great Tusk and Orthworm, right? Oh wait, no, Meowscarada, duh. Okay. So yeah, he's got some hazards. The rockers aren't ideal though, because Tusk and Orthworm is the only rockers. Tusk really prefers not to run Stealth Rock because it likes having its move slots open. And then Orthworm is just like not a great Pokemon. Okay. I like the idea of this Comfy set as our win con. This is like reminiscent of week 1, the Terra Fire Comfy. I don't think it looks as strong relatively, but I do think it looks pretty good. I definitely like it more than Terra Annihilate here. Not to say that like Terra Annihilate is bad, but we might do something different with Annihilate here. So the idea I'm getting is, what if we're like a Stealth Rock Annihilate that's like a dedicated spin blocker for the Great Tusk? So here's my logic. If Annihilate is our rocker, this is going to be like it's totally unexpected. And if he brings Espeon, which has Magic Bounce, I think it is very unlikely for Espeon to hard switch in on Annihilate, because it's just going to risk getting hit by a Ghost move, and then we can get up our rocks. And then if we stay a Ghost type, we can Spin Block on Great Tusk forever. So I kind of like this idea, actually, because I think Annihilate is going to have some problems here, right? Because Great Tusk is like super physically bulky. A bulk up Great Tusk can probably beat our Annihilate 1v1. I don't know if that's true. I mean, we can be a Terra type for that, but if we're like, we'd probably have to be Terra flying, I would think, to deal with Great Tusk and Meowscarada. Because we would need a Terra type that resists grass if we're like bulk up. Choice Band Terra Ghost is like the other option. I'm sorry, I'm like, this is just sort of a stream of thoughts right now, but I think this Rocks Annihilate set is pretty funny, so I kind of want to run this. And I do think there's like a reason for it. And if we have our Annihilate as like a more supportive role here, then we can do other fun things with the rest of our draft. Speaking of fun things, our Deoxys, what is it doing? So my first thought is like some sort of all-out attacker set, because looking at his draft, he has 3 psychic weaknesses in his top end of the draft, and that's very appealing for Deoxys. We can also be faster than a speed-boosted Great Tusk. I know Tusk is 450 boosted, and we can hit that with a Modest Nature. We probably go like Psycho Boost. We want a fighting move. We don't want to get intimidated, so it probably has to be Focus Blast. This also hits Earthworm. We probably go Knock Off to hit Espeon. And then the last move could be like Poison Jab for Florges, or Ice Beam maybe. Probably Ice Beam, right? Because it can hit Meowscarada. Meowscarada could have Sucker Punch, or it could just be Scarfed. We might want to consider Extreme Speed on this, maybe over Knockoff. That'd probably be what I replace. But, yeah, like a Life Orb set here looks pretty strong to me. But, if we're this, like, dedicated spin blocker Annihilate, let me put Defiant on this, just because of Intimidate potential from Incineroar. If we are a spin blocker Annihilate, I kind of want Spikes too, right? Because his entire team is grounded, and so Spikes looks incredibly strong. So I guess this would mean Ting-Lu, right? As our Spiker. Ting-Lu will like sit on Belly Bolt, which is nice. And Espeon too. We can't Whirlwind Espeon with Ting-Lu. We have to remember that. And Espeon can Magic Bounce us. So, I mean, it's still decent, though. I think Espeon is going to struggle to just live Earthquake from Ting-Lu. And he does not have great ground switch-ins, as we've already discussed. So I'm going to put Ting-Lu on the team. And put Earthquake and Spikes on. We're definitely going to want a Dark move, just so we can hit the Espeon. Maybe we're Throat Chop. No, I think Payback is just going to be better, right? Because we're slower than everything on his draft. Except Belly Bolt, but we Speed Tie. And then the last move, I don't think there's much point in Whirlwind. We can probably just be Ruination to hit a Great Tusk. Something like this. And if there's no Espeon, then we can just like set up hazards for free. He might not bring Espeon, considering we have a Ting-Lu and a Metagross and a Deoxys Speed. So that'd be nice. I do think we're going to want Zapdos here because it's great into Great Tusk, and we can exploit the flying weaknesses on his draft. The problem is, of course, the Belly Bolt. So we do need something to deal with Belly Bolt, but I think our solution is just going to be to like Volt Switch on it and have something else deal with it. Because I think it's going to be more effort than it's worth for Zapdos to 1v1 Belly Bolt. So I'm going to put Hurricane, Volt Switch, Roost. And then what is our last move? Probably Heat Wave. I think that makes sense. We probably go Boots here. Meowscarada unfortunately gets Triple Axle now, so we can't really switch in Zapdos on Meowscarada. It could also be like Power Gem if it wants. I mean, it could be, because we do have Talonflame now too, and Power Gem is appealing for that. But on the bright side, our Zapdos and also Talonflame with Flame Body might encourage the Meowscarada to run Protective Pads. And if it's running Protective Pads, that means it's not Choice Scarfed, which means our Deoxys would be faster than it outside of it having Sucker Punch. So even if he is Protective Pads and like Static doesn't do anything, it's putting pressure on him in the Team Builder. So that sounds like a good idea to me. And then our last slot. I honestly think like everything on our draft could go in this last slot, like including Alolan Exeggutor and Chimecho. So the benefit of Tentacruel is it's like super good into Keldeo, and it's also another Pecharunt check, and it's a Florges check too. I mean, it's helpful for Incineroar. And we can like Rapid Spin with it, I guess, if in case he does bring Espeon and our hazards get Magic Bounced. The downside is that what is the downside of Tentacruel? I think the downside of Tentacruel is that it's just like not anything else. Because Talonflame would be nice here to outspeed Meowscarada. It is also another like flying type, and it's also a flying type that pressures Orthworm with its Fire Stab. It does help with Great Tusk more. Great Tusk will probably be encouraged to have Head Smash here. So we might actually change Boots on Zapdos to Charty Berry. You know, I'm probably going to do that because of his rockers aren't great. So I'm going to be a little greedy. And Zapdos could also just get knocked off anyway, so it doesn't matter too much. Metagross is going to be helpful for... You know, actually, Metagross doesn't look amazing. I mean, he does have a lot of Psychic weaknesses. We have Clear Body to ignore Intimidate from Incineroar. He doesn't really have a good switch into Metagross. It could definitely be like a Breaker here. Honestly, maybe Banded I could see putting in work. But then we have to switch into Great Tusk afterward. And if we lock ourselves into the wrong move, then maybe a Calm Mind, Keldeo, or Espeon could do something to us. Let's see. The benefit of Alolan Exeggutor here is it is a water resist, so it will help with Keldeo. And I don't think there's a type that Keldeo can pick that will help with both Tentacruel and Alolan Exeggutor. The downside is Keldeo does get Icy Wind, so it could just like click Icy Wind on Alolan Exeggutor and kill it. But I guess Alolan Exeggutor is kind of bad into Florges too. We would need to go like physical Woodhammer, I think. Or I guess we'd go mixed here, probably. Maybe like offensive Trick Room. Alolan Exeggutor could do something, but I'm not sure if it has enough power. You know, I got this new, like, damage calc overlay, but I haven't used it yet. So let's break it in a little bit with Alolan Executor calcs. How about that? Let's say it's a, would Florges be especially defensive? It'd probably have some physical investment, so let's just assume that. I'm going to make this, let's say it's like offensive Trick Room Life Orb. Let's put Wood Hammer on Alolan Executor, and let's make it naughty. Okay, so now you can see like all the moves and what damage ranges they do to Florges. So I think this overlay, I like this more. Cool. Yeah, I mean, if we're like max attack adamant, it's doing quite a lot. But then our special moves wouldn't do so much. Let me put Draco on this. We definitely have Draco. And let's take a look at... No, obviously we kill Great Tusk with a Leaf Storm. I want to look at Pecharunt. That would be the interesting thing. Draco does not kill, but that's without any investment. It does do a good chunk. Let's take a look at Keldeo calcs. Oh, Secret Sword just like annihilates us. Okay. Well, this is Specs Keldeo. Let me see Icy Wind. Probably just kills us, yeah. But I mean, we're minus Spadef, and that is Specs. What if it's not Specs Keldeo? Then Icy Wind does not kill us. We could be like Harvest Yachi Berry. That'd be pretty funny. If we go Yachi on this, how much? Well, just half, right? And then if we harvest another Yachi Berry, then we live the next Icy Wind. That's kind of crazy. I mean, like, Yachi Berry could also help live Ice Spinner from Great Tusk. It could have that for Zapdos too, but because of the Talonflame as well, I'm pretty sure it will have Head Smash. Or I guess Stone Edge if he's not brave enough. Okay, so I didn't talk about Chimecho at all, and so let me talk about why I think Chimecho has potential here. So, Chimecho resists Great Tusk stabs, and if we invest into bulk, I'm pretty sure it can like take on every non-knockoff hit. There's no way it brings Mega Horn versus us, right? Yeah, that seems bad, surely, because you just read knockoff for Deoxys if anything. But let's look at Chimecho. So like, let's say this is max attack Tusk. I'm gonna give it close combat, head smash. We have a levitate, so headlong rush is not a concern. So like, if we're like a max physically defensive Chimecho, this is actually with a Protosynthesis boost too. We take on Great Tusk pretty well. Like, this is no item, right? But we could easily go Colbur Berry. And if he's not Protosynthesis attack, knockoff does not do a lot of damage. And like, he could be like more physically defensive too. Like, this is kind of wild. This can take on Great Tusk very well. The downside is it does super poorly into everything else. I mean, it's okay versus Pecharunt, but it's probably just setup fodder for Espeon. It's probably setup fodder for Florges. It invites in Meowscarada very easily. The upside is we'd get access to Healing Wish with this Chimecho and Heal Bell. But I don't think it's worth it. So I do think Alolan Executor and Chimecho have reasons to be brought here, but I don't know if they're good enough to truly justify it. So I think it's going to be between Tentacruel, Talonflame, and Metagross. What is Metagross's special attack stat? I wonder, like, what if we just go, like, Psychic on it to hit Pecharunt? Because I wonder if, like, oh, and Psychic would also do more to Great Tusk, right? Because of how physically bulky it is. Because, like, if you look at a standard Metagross Psychic Fangs, well, I mean, this is like, let's say it's max HP. I mean, Psychic Fangs is a 2-hit KO, but how much does Psychic itself do? Let's say we're Bashful. Yeah, so, like, uninvested Psychic is doing more than max attack. Let's say it's Naughty. Yeah, uninvested Psychic is doing the exact same as max attack Psychic Fangs. So, like, it's got 95 base special attack, which is, like, workable. So I wonder if an agility Metagross could do something. Maybe agility plus Culver Berry? Culver would protect us from I think we're still slower than Meowscarada after an agility, like a Choice Scarf variant. Well, I'll double check. So, with the Choice Scarf, it hits 568 speed. And then after an agility, oh yeah, we're like a lot slower. We're at 524. So I think we would need Culver Berry. How much does Bullet Punch do to Meowscarada? This is with like a ton of attack. Okay. On the bright side, well, I mean, we do like live. Okay, maybe I'm thinking about this the wrong way. Maybe instead of like Cobra Berry, we're just agility weakness policy. But the problem is Sucker Punch. I think the Meowscarada could very easily have Sucker Punch. It's either Choice Scarfed or it has Sucker Punch, and honestly, it could have both. And Sucker Punch definitely just throws a wrench into the whole agility Metagross game plan. I think we also kind of struggle to find a move to hit Orthworm. Like, we have agility plus Psychic. We'll need a move to hit Meowscarada, which is probably like Heavy Slam. That hits Florges too. And then we need a move for Incineroar, Belly Bolt, and Orthworm. And there just isn't one that covers all of those. I guess maybe we don't need Heavy Slam necessarily, but then Florges kind of just walls us. Yeah, I don't think we have the move slots for agility. Unless this is like an ultra late game sweeper and we like specifically try to remove something beforehand. And I guess a downside of if we take Metagross, we do not have a water resist, not even a Terra type, into the Terra Keldeo, and that is probably trolling a little bit. So maybe that's just the simpler solution, and we just take Tentacruel. That is probably what I'm going to do. Is there any reason to be like any particular ability here? I don't think so, but I guess I'll be Clear Body to not get Intimidate dropped from Incineroar, and then maybe our Flip Turn does more damage. That matters? I don't know. I mean, Tentacruel does look decent here, because if we want to, we can go faster than Great Tusk to like have an option to revenge it with Surf. But then Keldeo might be able to break through us. So let's check some Keldeo calcs. Verse is Tentacruel. Whoa. Tentacruel. Alright, so Specs Keldeo Secret Sword. Let's take a look at Terra Water as well. Okay, Terra Water Specs Hydro Pump is a guaranteed 3-hit KO on Tentacruel, which is... This isn't with any special defense, too, which is cool to see. And, like, we only need... Like, if we want to outspeed Great Tusk, we do need a significant amount of investment, but it's not the end of the world. Great Tusk is 300 speed, so we do need Timid, and we go 301. We have Surf. We'll want Rapid Spin for sure. And then what are our other moves? Probably Haze, right? Because I would assume Keldeo, if it wants to try to beat this, would be Calm Mind plus Terra Blast. Then at least we can, like, stop the Calm Minds if it gets out of hand. And then be Gunk Shot, because it's going to do more to Florges. Do I need Gunk Shot? Maybe I can just be Poison Jab. Does this get Poison Jab? Yeah, it does. Cool. Probably go Black Sludge here. Go like max HP and then the rest in defense. I think that makes sense because we want to protect ourselves from Secret Sword. But I guess let's check a super effective Terra type. Maybe it's Terra Electric Keldeo. You know what? That would make sense because then you can use Zapdos as setup fodder. And then that gives you Terra Blast for Zapdos. Or not for Zapdos, for Tentacruel. Oh my gosh, okay. Let's take a look at Terra Blast Electric. Okay, well this is Specs, but that's the same after a Calm Mind boost. That does a lot. How worried are we about a Terra Electric Keldeo? Let's say it gets a Calm Mind up. Maybe we should be a little more concerned about this. Because of... If we're like a Life Orb Psycho Boost from Deoxys at +1, Psycho Boost is doing not a lot, honestly. I mean, it is a lot of damage, but it's not as much as you'd like to see. On the bright side, after... I mean, if it doesn't have a Calm Mind, then Psycho Boost just kills after a Spike. You know what? Maybe it is better to have Alolan Executor, because I feel like Tentacruel is the more obvious answer. It does feel a little passive to me. But it does give us another option for the Great Tusk. I don't know. I don't know if there's like a correct decision here. It might honestly be preference. Okay, we're gonna want our Zapdos faster than Great Tusk as well, by the way. We'll probably go like something like this. Maybe we'll put it in physical defense. The item on Comfy could be Leftovers, could be Heavy Duty Boots. Could be Rocky Helmet. Maybe it could be Keyberry even. After we get hit by a physical hit, we get our defense raised. That way Orthworm can, that way we can continue to set up on Orthworm maybe. Or Incineroar. What about Annihilate? If we're Stealth Rock Annihilate, what are we doing here? I think we go Terra Ghost on this to bluff like a Banded or Scarfed set. But we're gonna Terra our Comfy. And then what? Well, surely we want a fighting move, so it's probably just gonna be close combat. And then what's our last? Do we just want U-turn? We could also be Taunt, maybe. I mean, Taunt to stop opposing hazards from going up could work. I don't hate that. Curse Annihilate would be crazy. I think I already mentioned U-turn. Encore is another option. Maybe we can Encore like Pecharunt into Nasty Plot or something. I don't know. I'm not super concerned about Pecharunt. I don't think Pecharunt looks very strong into us. We always have Deoxys to revenge. Like, if Pecharunt comes, I feel like it has to be, like, Payapa Berry for Deoxys. And even then, I don't know if that's enough. Because we can very easily go Terra Poison, and then we have Metagross and Tentacruel as well. I guess Metagross is weak to Ghost, but Tentacruel is going to be an issue for sure. Let's finish the Deoxys EVs. What are his priority options? It's just Sucker Punch and Fake Out. Oh, he's got Vacuum Wave from Keldeo, but I don't think, yeah, like we don't have any Vacuum Wave targets on our draft. Oh, I guess Keldeo also has Aqua Jet technically, but that's just even more of a reason to go Rash on this. So we lower our special defense instead of our physical defense. Put the rest in HP. Well, actually, let's go 249 because it's optimal if you're running a Life Orb to have your HP end in a 9 because the Life Orb recoil is just going to be the first 2 digits of your HP. So it's just going to chop off the last digit because Pokemon always rounds down. And then we can put the last EV in attack, I guess. Let's check Extreme Speed Calcs versus Meowscarada, because that might be worth dropping knockoff for. So, let's say that we are mixed with Life Orb. E-Speed does... Honestly, that's less than I thought. I mean, we could put a little bit of attack investment. But if we have hazards up, then it will eventually get an extreme speed range, right? How much does Espeon take from our attacks? Like, Psycho Boost is doing a ton. How much does it take from Ice Beam? Oh wait, Ice Beam is just going to be less than resisted Psycho Boost. So, but yeah, that's still a lot. And then, yeah, how much would Knockoff do? Probably kills, yeah. I don't know if I want to prep so much for Espeon, though, because I don't think it looks amazing into me either. It's kind of hard to prepare for this, because I feel like none of his Pokemon seem particularly good into me, but in a strange way, that makes it a little hard to prepare against, because I'm not entirely sure what to expect. Probably Meowscarada. Well, Meowscarada for sure. I think maybe Terra Electric Keldeo would be his best bet. Then you probably still bring Great Tusk, but you just put a rock move on it. And then what? Maybe Incineroar as your Deoxys check. Bellibolt as your Zapdos check. Then what? Orthworm? Espeon? We haven't even talked about Goodra. I guess Goodra can also work as a Zapdos check if he doesn't want to bring Bellibolt. What's our Goodra search in? Probably just Tinglu, right? Yeah. Tinglu will get the job done. We probably just make this faster than Great Tusk. We're going to have 3 Pokemon at this 301 speed tier. But actually, let's make sure our Annihilape isn't just going to die to Great Tusk, because to Spin Block, we need to like actually live attacks from it. Let's say we're like, let's take away the Photosynthesis boost. So Headlong Rush is doing quite a lot of damage. However, let's say we are max attack Annihilape. He Headlong Rushes us, right, as we switch in. So we get Rage Fist stacked to 100 base power. And then he goes to -1 defense. And Rage Fist is still a 3 at KO. But I guess this is max HP Tusk. I mean, we still do a lot, and like, I don't know. We prevent Rapid Spin. That's like the main goal. Like, we can also be Air Balloon on this if we really want to. Do we really want to? What other item will we be? What other item would we even be? I don't know. Maybe like a resist berry? But what? No, like nothing's gonna hit us for super effective damage, really. At least nothing that we want to stay in on. Focus Sash? I mean, we can be Sash lead if we want to. Just get up our rocks. We could be Citrus Berry, maybe. You know what? This Headlong Rush calc, it's like... It's kind of close to us being in, like, Wikiberry range. To heal more than Citrus. That doesn't really, like, get us anything, though. It's just a little more health, and it's more inconsistent. I think I'd rather just go Citrus Berry at that point. Or, Air Balloon. But, you know what? I think I don't actually like, Air Balloon. Because I think... Zapdos is our very obvious switch-in to Great Tusk. And so I feel like he will either mid-ground click Knockoff into the incoming Zapdos or whatever is in front of him, so he at least gets something out of the turn, or he tries to like hard read with Head Smash. Whoa. Yeah, I'm pretty sure that would be his sequence of plays. So playing around that, maybe we go Rocky Helmet on Annihilate. And then maybe with the Helmet chip, plus whatever hazard damage maybe, and then if he Headlong Rushes us, he takes the defense drop, plus Helmet. Yeah, okay. I kind of like this idea. But then the question becomes, can we live Knockoff into Headlong Rush? And then we have to take out of our attack to do that. Well, I guess we can pivot, right? Because I feel like clicking Rapid Spin in front of an Annihilate that you just boosted Rage Fist for is like insanity. So we could just go Zapdos the turn after. And if he like predicts us there, then he predicts us, right? But, yeah. Okay. I think this is fine. Have our Deoxys set. Do we want Extreme Speed or Knockoff? The upside of Knockoff is... I mean, it's an accurate move that can hit Espeon. It could also knock off the Assault Vest of, like, whatever is the switch-in for this, if he opts to go that route. Because we don't have Superpower. We are running Focus Blast. I think I'm going to keep Knockoff. Maybe I'll regret it, but we'll see. We do have our Comfy for speed control still. I'm going to put Leftovers on this. I think I might optimize these EVs later, but that'll take a little bit, so I won't do it right now. So then that brings us to what are we doing with Ting-Lu? What is this switching in on primarily? Bellybolt, Goodra, Espeon? This is more to do with like his bottom tiers. But it's really just here to get up spikes, honestly. It doesn't have that much of a purpose otherwise. So then what? Maybe we go Choppleberry on this? Or Pashoberry for Keldeo? Or it could just be leftovers. That works too. Maybe even Roselli Berry for any random fairy moves. Maybe just Boots. Probably not Boots. I don't know. I'm gonna throw on Leftovers, I think. It's either Leftovers or Pasho Berry in my head. You know, maybe it's... What if it's, Clear Amulet to avoid Intimidate from Incineroar? Because our Earthquake is a pretty strong click. No, that seems troll. I think it's actually might be Pasho Berry. The reason being because Keldeo is inclined to click a water move into us more than it is Secret Sword. Because of our ridiculously high defense. And then, I mean, it might honestly not have Secret Sword. If it's like Calm Mind, water move plus Terra Blast, then its last move could be Icy Wind or Substitute maybe. It doesn't really need Secret Sword. The only thing it hits for super effective damage is our Ting Lu, but that's also just weak to water, right? So I think it might not even have Secret Sword. But it could if it wants to hit Tentacruel's lower defensive stat without committing to Terra Blast. That would be the only reason I see to have Secret Sword. And I think that's like a valid reason, but I think there's a chance it doesn't have it. So I'm going to throw like special defense on this. We probably could go attack, right? Because of how strong Earthquake is. I might mess around with the EVs here, like with Comfy as well. But, yeah, well, no, we're not quite. It's Tentacruel, the last piece that I'm a little unsure of. Because Tentacruel, do we want Toxic Spikes? Just go like full hazard stack. Because if he doesn't bring Pecharunt, because Pecharunt I don't think looks very good into me. Like, what does it check? Like, it's just going to lose to a Terra Poison or Steel Annihilate, and I think he should worry about that. He also needs to worry about, what's it called? Defiant, if he, like, Parting Shots. Oh, Clear Body on Tentacruel also prevents a Parting Shot, which is nice. So that is a reason to be Clear Body here. If we go Toxic Spikes, what do we drop? I mean, Toxic Spikes would severely limit the Keldeo unless it's Boots. But if it's like a Calm Mind variant, then that seems really strong to me. Okay, you know what? I'm actually going to replace Taunt on Annihilate with Rest. Just because I think if we go like full hazard stack mode, we really want to keep our spin blocker alive. And like, I know it doesn't have any like bulk investment really. I'm gonna move these to defense. It's more efficient with its high HP stat, and we're primarily switching this into Great Tusk. Oh, and another benefit of knockoff on Deoxys is it can knock off Boots for our hazard stack. So do we want more knockoff? Because we can also put knockoff on Tentacruel. And we can also put Toxic Spikes. I kind of want to keep, a poison move though, because there is like some... No, that just seems fictional, right? Why would you bring Calm Mind Florges into Metagross? Like, you could be Calm Mind Psyshock Moonblast Wish or something like that. But and then I guess we don't have an we aren't bringing Metagross, so we don't have an obvious way of revenging that. So I think I do want to keep a poison move on Tentacruel, probably Poison Jab. Maybe we can drop Haze. I think we can drop Haze, and then we can go Knockoff or Toxic Spikes. What's a switch in to Tentacruel? Probably Goodra. Or Espeon, I guess. Oh, we don't even have Flip Turn on this. Maybe we want Flip Turn, too. Oh, man. So many options. And, like, I want to keep Surf and the speed because we really need to get rid of the Great Tusk to keep our hazards up. That's our primary goal. So our team is very hostile to Great Tusk, and that is by design. You know what? I'm actually going to move Comfy to the last slot of the team because just by the way I've been doing my team builders, the Pokemon in slot 3 has been like the immediate what's the word I'm looking for? Like, it's the one I focus my attention on the most. So let me move Comfy to the end to make it a little more hidden. A little bit of metagaming. I kind of want Toxic Spikes. But the problem is if he brings Pecharunt, then it's just sort of a wasted move slot. And our move slots on Tentacruel are very precious. I don't think we need them. They're just kind of nice. I mean, Toxic Spikes are always nice. I think I'm going to replace this with Knockoff to remove more boots. Oh, well, but then we're weaker to Calm Mind Keldeo. But I guess if it's Calm Mind Terra Electric, then we're not going to get a Haze off anyway. Unless we just spam Haze in front of it. Alright, I'm going to put Toxic Spikes on. I don't know if this is the correct decision, but I think it can work. And yeah, I believe that will be the team. If anything changes before the battle, I will let you know. I'll probably play around with the EVs on Tinglu at least. And Comfy. But for now, that'll be that. So thank you for watching, and I will see you for the battle. Bye-bye. Hey, it's me again, Scribble from a few minutes in the future after putting nicknames on the whole team. So I realized in the team builder I was being a little silly, so I wanted to go over exactly what I did to fix the silliness, because there are a few changes I made, and I think it's better to just show you than explain it right before the battle. So the first thing is I changed the Annihilate to be fully physically defensive, and I realized that there's really no point in being faster than Great Tusk with this. It's better just to have the bulk so he can switch into Great Tusk multiple times. But another reason to go max physical defense is if you look at the damage calc, I wanted to make sure that we could live a banded Meowscarada, an adamant banded Meowscarada play rough, which is the strongest move it can use to hit Annihilate. And we need literally max defense to guarantee that we live this hit from full. And that's because I'm planning on leading Annihilate. And I didn't say that in the team builder, even though I've said over and over how important leads are. But I was thinking of leading Annihilate. I just didn't explicitly say that. So I was just making sure it actually worked as a lead. And yeah, I just needed to change that. I also changed the last move to Endure, because I think it's going to give us more value, especially if it's a choiced Meowscarada. We can get another Rocky Helmet tick, we can get another Rage Fist stack, we can weaken the Great Tusk a little more if it hasn't knocked us off yet, something like that. I think it's the most valuable last slot move that we could get. Okay, now the rest are just minor edits. I moved the extra EVs in Deoxys from HP to attack. It should have been like that in the first place, just to maximize knockoff damage. I left Tinglu the same. I ran some numbers, and these are pretty much all the EVs we need to do what we need to do. And I figured we may as well just go max attack just to have pretty strong Earthquake, so it's annoying to switch into. Zapdos, I moved the EVs from special attack to defense because we guarantee kill max HP Great Tusk with Hurricane regardless of special attack investment, and the defense EVs could help us live Ice Spinner. Tentacruel, I moved the EVs from physical defense to special defense because a Choice Specs Secret Sword from Keldeo is still a guaranteed 3-hit KO after Black Sludge recovery. I also changed Poison Jab to Gunk Shot because Gunk Shot can break Keldeo's substitute even with a timid nature, and it also does a lot more to Florges. And lastly, Comfy, I changed Giga Drain to Synthesis because the only reason to have Giga Drain would be for a Terra Water or Ground Keldeo. Draining Kiss and Giga Drain will do the same damage otherwise to everything else. And so we may as well just have Synthesis for more reliable recovery. I also changed its item to Key Berry. Unfortunately, if Meowscarada knocks us off, it won't proc the Key Berry. But if we switch in on Triple Axle, it will proc the Key Berry. And I think that is somewhat realistic. So I'm pretty sure Key Berry triggers after all 3 hits of Triple Axle. But because we have priority synthesis, we can just synthesis the next turn and then we'll be okay. So yeah, those are all the changes I made. Just wanted to go over that, and now this should be the final team for the battle. Alright, now for real, bye-bye.